What's going on, Schmidt heads? Welcome back to another week of NFL picks against the spread. We are on week 3. This is the Undercover. I'm your host, Joe Schmidt. Last week we didn't do too good. We went 1-3 on the money picks, but overall we went 10-16 against the spread. So far this year, we are 20 for 32 against the spread, 5 for 7 on the money picks. Not a bad start for the year at all. I'm not complaining. I'm ready to keep going, so let's keep going. Before we get this week started off, let me just recap last week. It was a rough week, like I said. Our money picks was Cincinnati minus 2.5, I believe it was. Let me check. We had Cincinnati minus 3.5. Now, somehow we got that cover. Jacksonville wanted to lose that game. Burrow got injured, so we had a lot going wrong for us. But we still got the cover, so I'll take that one. No complaints. I'll consider myself lucky for getting that one right. But, who's going to predict Burrow being out for the season and all that. So, still a good pick on my part. Our other pick was Pittsburgh against Seattle. Now, we got duped when dude on Pittsburgh special teams didn't know the rules, and Seattle got a free touchdown off of that. Other than that, I think the Pittsburgh could have got us a last second cover, but that took our chances right out the window once that happened. So that was a bummer. Take the loss, though. Got to take the losses like I take the wins. The other one we got wrong, Denver minus 2.5 at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is for real. Looks like it wasn't a fluke last week. Looks like they're going to have plenty more good weeks, offensive weeks in the bag. So, and Denver, they had it. They just, right at the end, defense, who would have saw that coming? But I think Denver's defense bounces back this week. We'll talk about that. But yeah, rough loss. They were covering all the way through till the very end, and hate when you lose that way. But a loss is a loss. Let's see how we bounce back. Last year we were good at bouncing back, so let's get it. Let's go on another hot streak. I got 3 money picks this week. Let's start with Thursday night. We'll get this video out before the game starts, I promise. Sorry for it being late, but we never bet on Thursday night games anyway, so I'm going to get the pick out there first, though, so it's legit, and all my numbers are legit when I tell you I'm this many wins, this many losses against the spread. You could go back and look if you don't believe me. It'll be legit. Anyway, we got the Washington Commanders. No. We got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are minus 12.5. I'm going to go with the Bills to win in the cover here. Their offense has been killing it, putting up points against the Ravens, putting up points last week. You think at some point they're going to have to slow down, right? Well, is that going to be against Miami? My only worry here is that Buffalo go up a good amount of points, 15, 16, 20 points, and then kind of just let the game play out midway through the third quarter, and the Dolphins could put up 2 meaningless touchdowns and get a backdoor. That's the only chance I see here of the Bills not covering. But I think Bills, they're gonna keep their gas on. It's early in the year, so I don't see them having that type of attitude that this early in the year, if they get ahead, which I think they will. Dolphins, I said it last week, I say it again this week. They look like they're not in sync. It looks like it's gotten worse since last week. Their offense, on the field, it looks like they were able to connect, but Tua just off-target throws, dumb interception at the end of the game. Tua likes to turn the ball over. They're away. It's a short week. This team just doesn't look like they're going to ever at all this season get their chemistry together, I guess is what I'm saying. And the Bills looks like they're going to keep going on a roll. I really see this being a blowout by the Bills. I'm not confident to put money on it, though, because it is a Thursday night game, and who knows if Dolphins do show up. I doubt it. Their offense hasn't showed up at all this year. Last week, they only put up 20 points. They got a kick return for a touchdown. So their offense not putting up a lot of points. They're not as high scoring as they're supposed to be. I'm going to go with Buffalo to win the cover here. Let's get to next game so this video isn't too long. I got more to say on that last game, but nothing too much more elaborate or special. That's pretty much the gist of it. Next game, we are Sunday, 1 o'clock. We got the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. This is a money pick, y'all. First money pick of the week. I'm feeling good about this one. Carolina is plus 4.5 at home. I'm going with Atlanta to win in the cover here. Atlanta, they've just been looking good. Their offense looks good. Bijan Robinson looks like he's going to be the best running back in the league this year. A lot of good running backs this year. It looks like he's going to be the top one. Like week in and week out, putting up productive numbers. And he got to be licking his chops this week against the Carolina Panthers. They are horrible at stopping the run, and their defense just isn't that good overall. I think also this week we will see more production out of the Atlanta Falcons passing game. The first 2 weeks they haven't done all that much. London had a fumble last week. That's not going to happen too much. Penix is spreading the ball. I like to see that. He's comfortable with no matter who he's throwing to, it looks like. And getting Pitts involved in the game. Holy crap, 2 weeks in a row we've seen Pitts have some key moments in games. But I think Atlanta's offense is going to step it up this week. They're going to look better this week than they have the past 2 weeks. Their running game, I don't see Carolina being the team to shut down Bijan Robinson, especially since they might be the worst run defense dating back to last year. And Atlanta's defense is looking really good too. They're rushing the passer, and Young under pressure isn't good. Young, they had a nice little comeback, but both those touchdowns, the game was pretty much almost over. It was pretty much over. The fact that they almost had a chance to win at the end there was some sort of miracle, but the Cardinals did everything they could to give them that chance. I don't see Atlanta doing that if they get up. Atlanta is usually, in my eyes, known for blowing leads, but this year it looks like their defense is holding up and they can hold a lead. And Carolina getting 2 back doors in a row, I don't see that happening. Home favorites, always gotta worry about that. But in this scenario, I think Atlanta's gonna keep their foot on the pedal and literally run through Carolina. I got my money on Atlanta. Let's go, baby. And I wasn't sold on Penix in the beginning of the year, but this year, from what I've seen the first 2 weeks, not a lot to go by, but from what I've seen, it looks like he's the man for the job. He's sticking around. He's not going to get replaced. That's not going to be a question at all this year. All right, next game. We got Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are plus 8.5. I got Green Bay to win and to cover this match. I would like to put money on it, but Cleveland, they got a good defense. There's a chance maybe they slow down Green Bay's offense, but I just don't see it happening. I think this will be a blowout as well. Starting the week off with 3 blowouts. Cleveland, like I said last week, Flacco's not going to be the starter the whole year. This might be another game where maybe he gets taken out and they put the other dude in, or why can't I remember the rookie's name? Maybe they'll just start him to begin with, but I haven't heard anything like that, so I'm not counting on that. I think Flacco will be in again and then have a subpar game or a really bad game. Either way, they'll be losing by a good amount for them to take him out. Dylan Gabriel, that's his name. He looked pretty good, I guess, considering he was probably playing backups and such. But um, yeah, I see Green Bay's defense. They've been tough against two high-powered offense so far. I don't see Cleveland being the team to make their defense come back down to earth. Um, you Green Bay can shut down the run like they've been doing, and Cleveland doesn't have a stellar run. I don't really think they have that many playmakers on their offense. I think this should be a blowout. Yeah. Like I said, I probably can go dive deeper into that one, but I want to make sure this video doesn't go as long as the last one. So before I go, did I miss anything? Yeah, no, not really. All right, next game, sorry. We have uh, the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is pretty much a pick 'em. Jacksonville, we have a negative 0.5, negative 1/2. I'm going with Jacksonville to win and to cover this game. Jacksonville, they have an offense. I feel like any team with an offense that can put up a lot of points is going to be a problem for the Texans this year, even though the Texans got a good defense. Their offense, I don't see Houston's offense picking it up. They need to get healthy again. I don't see these guys. Maybe they'll have one highish scoring game this year with the guys they have now, but I don't see it happening week in, week out consistently at all. If they have a good week, I'll probably bet against them the next week. And right now, their offense just can't score touchdowns. They've scored, but not a lot, not enough. Their defense is playing amazing, though. So that's why I won't put no money on this game, because the defense could shut down Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence hasn't faced the defense like this yet this year, even though I think their offense has enough pieces. It seems like he's spreading the ball around. ETN, 2 good games in a row, and Houston Texans, you can get them in the run game, it looks like. Last week they gave up a lot to Bucky Irvin, but yeah, I just think Jacksonville has a better overall team. And Houston's, like, if Jacksonville can put up a couple scores, it's going to be tough for Houston's offense to keep up. They haven't shown me at any quarter this year that they can get down the field fast, score. Their first drive against the Buccaneers, yeah, but I'm not going to count that. Those scripted drives, whatever you want to call them, I need to see it throughout the whole game, because after that they didn't do anything in the first quarter. So, yeah, let's go Jacksonville. Almost want to make that a money pick, because I'm feeling pretty confident the more I talk about it. But yeah, that Houston defense, I can't do it because of the Houston defense. Next game, we got Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going Jacksonville to cover. We got Cincinnati Bengals at Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are minus 2.5. I went back and forth with this one. Both backup quarterbacks. You got Carson Wentz going against, what's his name? Jake Browning. And Wentz, what is it? This is his 6th team he's going to start on in, I think, 6 different years or some crazy stat like that. This is the team he always wanted to play for, so they got that little storyline going. It was his childhood team anyway. That's what I meant. But I think Browning, was he 4-3 overall as a starter? He's been on this team for like 5+ years, I think. The Bengals. I'm comfortable with riding with Brown in this game. If I haven't said it yet, I got Cincinnati to win I don't know if they'll win, but I think they'll cover. I think maybe if the Vikings win, they squeak a last-second one, but their defense looks good. But Bengals offense still looks good, even with Burrow out. maybe they'll be able to run with Brown since Vikings defense hasn't been that great against the run this year so far in 2 weeks. But man, yeah, I think McCarthy's obviously the guy for the Vikings, and Wentz will be back on the bench no matter how good he plays. So, and he knows that. I don't know. I just see the Vikings winning last second. I don't know if it'll be by a field goal or Wentz getting a touchdown because they're losing by 6 points. But I think, yeah. I think that the Cincinnati holds up. Their defense still gonna look a little bit better than everybody's expected. Not great, but looking better, getting turnovers. That's what they're doing this year. That's how I kind of expected them to look. I'm gonna keep rolling with that. And this is a matchup of two backup quarterbacks, and people keep trying to say this will prove who's better, Jefferson or Chase storyline. I'm not trying to look into that storyline too much. There's not really much I could do with that. But yeah, I see a close game. Hopefully it's under 3 points. It's always tough when I don't think a team's going to win and I'm still picking them at plus 2.5. Like, I hate banking on, like, oh, they're going to keep it within 3. Because they could lose by 3 and we miss out on this cover. But besides storylines, I just like overall what I see with the Bengals offensively. I think they can put up points on Minnesota defense. I think they could get a better run game going this week. I think they might even game plan for that since Burrow ain't their starter and they know this. I'm just going to go with Cincinnati this one. Minnesota might get a last-second lucky win or not. I feel better about Cincinnati. And by the way, the offense still looked good under Brown, and he put up a lot of yards. Targeted Chase a little bit too much for my liking, but I still think he spread the ball around pretty well. And so, he doesn't worry me. The turnovers do a little bit. He does. I think he has 14 touchdowns, 7 turnovers overall, INTs. That makes me a little nervous because against this Vikings defense, I can see him throwing picks, and that's another reason why we ain't going to put money on it, but I'm still feeling good about the Bengals this game. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New England Patriots. Pats are plus 1.5. Now, I think this line's a little fishy. Pats underdogs at home against a Steelers team that hasn't really their defense has looked like trash. They're giving up everything, running, passing. That's not what I'm used to seeing. I expect we won't see that all year, but I think dating back to last year, they're about like around 10 games where they've given up a crap ton of points in a row. So and New England's looking good. They're looking legit like contenders. Not Super Bowl contenders, but hey, we're going to make the playoffs or give the playoff teams a run for their money contenders. I like to see that. Week 1, they lost against the Raiders, and I kind of expected that to happen. And this week, like I said, if there's a week they're going to beat Miami at home, it's going to be this week when Miami looks like trash, which is another reason why I'm still going against Buffalo. That Miami hasn't showed, or going with Buffalo. Miami hasn't shown me anything. Anyway, I'm going New England to win and to cover this game, the 1.5. I had Pittsburgh selected for a while, and then I switched back to New England, but I could always switch back. This game has still got me tossing and turning in my sleep. But like if Pittsburgh's defense plays the way they've been playing, even if they step it up a tiny bit, I think New England's got this in the bag. But something tells me Pittsburgh's going to crack down, especially after that blunder last week. They should have covered. Rodgers, though, he didn't play that great last week. So the question still in my mind, was he only going hard against the Jets because he had a personal vendetta out for them? I don't know, and everybody in that organization apparently. So that's still a lot of questions for me when it comes to the Steelers. I think this week we'll figure out if their defense can step it up, because New England's offense is looking good. They're scoring points. Yeah, they went against Miami's defense last week, so take that with a grain of salt. That could have been the only reason why they look good. I think Miami's defense is trash. Everybody does. I'm gonna roll lean New England to win in the cover at home. They beat Pittsburgh, I think, their last 3 matchups, and New England hasn't been good the last 3 times they played. So and 7 out of 8 of the last matchups they've won. So for some reason New England gives Pittsburgh a hard time no matter what, no matter how bad they are. As fishy as this spread looks, I think I'm gonna have to roll with New England. Maybe New England's plus 1.5 because they lost to Raiders, and they only beat the Dolphins, and the Dolphins it doesn't look like contenders. So who knows? That's the only thing. That and Pittsburgh's defense possibly stepping up and returning back to form from a while ago, though. It would be they return to form from a while ago. So I can't pick Pittsburgh counting on that defense to finally show up this exact week. I think the Patriots are a good chance to bounce back for Pittsburgh, but I don't know. The New England seems like they're not gonna lie down and take it this year. So let me get New England to win in the cover, and then even if they lose, hopefully it's like obviously by 1. We have that going, but I think they should win this game. And as a Pats fan, it has been a very long time since I was like, yeah, I think we should win this against a team that I think is somewhat decent. So I haven't had that feeling in a while. I'm gonna take it. Next game we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are minus 3.5. I got the Rams to cover, Eagles to win in this matchup. I just think it's going to be a close matchup. The only thing I'm concerned about is Barkley having another run-in fest on the Rams defense, because the last 2 times they've played, he has had his way with that defense. Does that continue, though, into the next year? Do they not have some sort of game plan to at least slow him down a little bit? So I think they at least slow Barkley down a little bit. It's not going to be like the last 2 times. Maybe he gets to 100 yards. But Barkley, I wouldn't say is looked as explosive this year, and that could be due to the Eagles' passing game not being too good. And that's another thing I don't like about the Eagles. I always feel like their passing game has been inconsistent. Even if they've been putting up yards every week, it'll be yards to Brown, Devontae Smith gets nothing. A crap ton of yards to Smith, Brown gets next to nothing. Like 2 receptions, 18 yards type of stats. And so far this year, both of them have been getting nothing. And I feel like it's been going like that this would be the 3rd year going now, I think. Or maybe it's been going like that for 3 years. This is the 4th. I'm not quite sure. But a while. That's my point. So their passing game has always been a little inconsistent for my liking in that sort of sense. Good threats. They could go off this week on offense. They're the Eagles. That's why I can't put no money on this game, but I'm confident that the Rams keep it close. Their defense hasn't let opponents. The defense is going against their toughest matchup so far this year, and I believe the same thing with the Eagles. Their defense will be facing their toughest matchup so far of the year. I like a lot what Stafford's doing. He's already good with his receivers, Devontae Adams. And yeah, I think their offense is only going to look better and better as the year goes out. Like how it's only week 2 and he's connecting with Adams already. Like he needed that type of guy. I think I said this last week. He needed that type of Calvin Johnson esque receiver, a big dude. A big dude. Cooper Kupp was awesome, but, you know, he needed like someone like the get off me, like break and tackle this, and yeah. And I like that, and that's why I really like this pick. I still think they look good week 3 against this Eagles secondary that hasn't looked too hot so far this year, and this is going to be their toughest matchup so far of the year. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Possibly. Like I feel like the Rams have a really good chance of winning this too, which is why I should just end that hook. We might have it by the hook. Eagles, so far the way they've looked this year, I don't see them blowing out any teams, especially a team that looks like the Rams do. They didn't blow out the Cowboys. They didn't necessarily blow out the Chiefs. And the Chiefs, I don't think they're that good of a team anyway. So the Eagles winning the way they did against the Chiefs, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with the way the Eagles have looked this year. They're going to win a crap ton of games, don't get me wrong. They're going to be one of the top dogs in the league. But right now, like, I don't see their offense, unless Barkley has his way with the Rams again. If he doesn't, which I think the Rams should find a way to stop that, especially after it happened twice. Can it happen 3 times in a row? It could, which is why I won't have money on this. But I'm feeling good about the way the Rams, I think they look like a better team this year so far. Definitely offensively. They got a run game. They got a pass game. Stafford's looking like he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks this year. Anyway, next game. I don't think I missed anything important in that matchup, did I? Nope. Pretty much, yep, that's everything I said. Rams D is also playing their toughest matchup. I believe I said that already, though. Anyway, next game, we got the New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was back and forth with this one. And then after a day or two of thinking and looking at more info, I'm really feeling comfortable with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover the spread of -6.5, and I'm putting my money on it. This is a money pick, y'all. Money pick. Tampa Bay to cover against the Jets, -6.5. Fields isn't going to play. I think he's questionable right now, but I don't think we're going to see anyone get a concussion and return the next week. It's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure they're cracking down on that. So why would they allow anybody that suffered a concussion to come back 6-7 days later? I just don't see that happening. I think we're going to get Tyrod Taylor. Now, my only thing I'm nervous about in this game, even though I'm putting my money on it, is Tyrod Taylor could be a good game manager and actually keep this close. Hopefully it's 7-8 points close if he does play that way. That's what I'm banking on. Like, is he going to keep it within 3? I don't think so. This Tampa Bay team, their games might have been close, but I think their offense is really good. They got a run attack. They got receivers. And most importantly, they got Baker Mayfield. This guy's a gunslinger. This guy's a playmaker. This guy is clutch. He's got a clutch gene. And nobody really on the Jets has that. Even if Fields plays, Tyrod Taylor, even when he did play, he had one good year 10 years ago. The rest, he's decent. He's nice to have as a backup. I'm comfortable if he was a backup for the New England Patriots, which maybe he was at one point. This guy, I think, played for the whole AFC East at this point. But I think even, what was he, on the Dolphins last year, and he kept games close. They didn't score any points, but the drives weren't always 3 and out. So I don't know. I'm not gonna bank on that happening. I think Tampa Bay should be able to have their way with the Jets. Their defense hasn't looked that good. Sauce Gardner might be a tad bit overrated. We don't know, but if the whole defense is bad, it's hard to making it, have awesome personal stats, I feel like. when Darrelle Revis had great seasons on the Jets. Their whole defense was pretty much good. It wasn't just Revis. So, and right now, ever since Salah left, the Jets defense just hasn't looked good ever since that happened. I don't think I've seen him have a really good standout game. Not one that I can remember anyway. Definitely not one this year. So yeah, I think Tampa Bay's got this in the bag. Baker Mayfield, I'm with him all the way. I don't see the Jets defense giving this team too much trouble if they keep playing the way they've been playing this year. And even last year, if they play the way they did last year, I don't see them putting up points on offense. Now you got to, like, the Jets, now what? They got to have another quarterback start in Tyrod Taylor, as good as I just said he could be, and control games and keep them, like, tight at least, like, not let them get out of control. The Jets suck, and they always do, and just, like, always switching the quarterbacks. Like, I don't feel like any receiver or player could get in a rhythm on that offense. How much they just go through quarterbacks. So it doesn't matter how long players have been on that team. Yeah, I feel comfortable with this Tampa Bay to win in the cover, -6.5. All right, next game we got Indianapolis at Tennessee. Tennessee is +3.5. This one made me think a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Indianapolis Colts -3.5 away to cover the spread. Their offense, people are calling them, saying they're having the perfect season or whatever on the offense because they haven't punted yet. But they did get stopped on 4th down, so I don't think it's a perfect season at all. That is not in my head at all. But they are still really good. They scored every possession except one, I think, from what I've seen. I didn't look that stat up. Maybe I should have. But Jonathan Taylor's for real. He's back. Daniel Jones is spreading the ball out very well. Got the new tight end Warren looking really good. Has some other reliable receivers and Pittman and all that. And he's looking good. And I know he can use his legs and run too and be a problem for the defense in that way. I always thought he was pretty good, and the Giants just really suck. And that's the case, because even Russell Wilson with the Giants threw for 450 fucking yards. I don't care what team they're playing against, and they still lost that game. So, yeah, Giants, they need a better coaching staff or something, because no matter what talent they put on that team, they're losing games. But back to the Colts and the Titans. The Titans offense, they haven't really looked too good. They've been stopped a bunch of times. They might have gotten into the red zones a few times, but they're not putting up points. Ward has got sacked 11 times so far this year, I think. Something close to that at least. And yeah, I think the Colts defense aren't going to have too much trouble stopping Ward and the Titans offense. I like Pollard. I think he's good, but he's not going to be able to put this team on his back. I don't think he'll be able to win a game or be able to cover a spread on his own. Other than that, the receivers, Ward looks like he's connecting a little better with his receivers, but yeah, the amount of pressure he gets, I just don't see him with the amount of pressure he gets winning this game against the Colts team that is they're probably going to put up points, and maybe even Tennessee's defense, which might be the best defense are getting matched up against so far this year. Let me think about that. Who do they play so far? No, they play the Broncos. So I can't even say that. I think Indianapolis is going to put up points. Tennessee's still a pretty decent defense. Decent, though. I think mid, if at best mid. And I think they'll be able to continue to score, put up points, and eventually come down to earth. But Tennessee and a rookie quarterback in Ward that got sacked 11 times and constantly gets pressured, running around trying to create plays. And even that touchdown pass he threw last week, like, I think people are praising him for that. Like, I still think that was a dumb throw. And if he tries that again, like, it ain't going to work out too good for him. So it's like, I don't know what he's thinking or anything. I don't watch interviews. But if at all he's thinking in his head, like, oh, yeah, that works, it doesn't. You got lucky, buddy. And he still didn't cover last week, I believe, right? Did they cover? Yeah, still didn't cover with that lucky touchdown pass. Anyway, so I'm going to ride with Indianapolis. I almost want to put money on this, but I might. Shit, I might put my money on Indianapolis. Why not? I mean, what's stopping me? Let's see. Let me check my notes now, fellas. Sorry. You're getting a live. You might get a live bet here. What's slowing me down? Jones should stay protected. Tennessee isn't scoring much points. I don't see that being this. Yeah. Tennessee's giving up a lot on pass D. And Jones is on fire. Oh, man. I'm going with my instincts on this one because I'm taking too long. So now I have to do it. We're putting money. We're making this another money pick. That's... You know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to make it another money pick. I think the Colts have their way with the Tennessee Titans. I don't think Titans can keep it in 3 points. They're going to lose by at least 4. I think more. Yeah. We're going to have 4 money picks this week, guys. Week 1 we had 4 money picks and went 4-0. If we can go 4-0 again, that'd be great. But just the more I'm thinking about this game, the more I'm like, I've never done this before, so let's see what happens. This could, will I go 1-1 or 0-1 on the sporadic money pick? That's what we're doing, folks. All right, you seen it here live. Crazy. We get crazy on this channel. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Washington Commanders. Commanders are -3.5. This is another game I feel pretty good about. I think the Raiders defense can slow down this Commanders offense, even if Daniels stays in the game. And if he does, I'm pretty sure he's dinged up. And even last year when he got dinged up, he still looked incredible. So I can't go with that. But I think they can get to him. Washington's the spread is Washington -3.5. I'm picking Vegas to cover, by the way. Washington, their offense doesn't look too good, and I didn't think they were going to look that hot since before the year started. Go back and watch my first video I dropped this year, and I'm still going to ride with that. Deebo Samuel, I like it. I think he works good on that team. I still think that, but now Mariota's coming in. Teams are onto him. Like, I think like they've looked better playing against them. They're not getting no crazy plays off anymore. The Commanders aren't. Yeah, and I think Geno Smith's gonna have a bounce back week. I don't see him throwing 3 picks and not getting anything done offensively again. That might have been his worst game of his career. Geno Smith has never been like awesome in my eyes, but I do think he's gotten better since he's left the Jets. But last week we saw Geno Smith from the Jets, and I don't think we're going to see that a lot this year, even though he's on the Raiders, another team. I think Jets, Raiders, Browns, and there's another team out there, are just bad teams no matter what players are playing for them. That's what it seems like, right? They just can't. Something's always going wrong. But So that's honestly would be the only thing worrying me. I think Geno Smith can bounce back, especially against the Commanders' defense. I don't think the Commanders are going to get a good run game going. Raiders have been pretty good stopping the run so far this year, and they pretty much shut down what I think is a really good San Diego offense last week on Monday. Just tough luck that Geno turned the ball over 3 or 4 times. They were in scoring position a couple times. They just didn't get anything out of it. Raiders could have at least covered that game, but just dumb mistakes. I don't see that happening 2 weeks in a row with Geno Smith. If it was any other quarterback for the Raiders like they've had the past couple of years, then yeah, of course, I could see that. But not Geno Smith. I think he'll at least manage this game and make sure he doesn't have 2 crap games in a row. There's probably going to be more down the road, but 2 in a row like that, I don't think so. He looked disappointed with himself. Commanders, I just think pretty much that the Raiders defense won't give the Commanders enough, and their offense will be able to put up enough to cover the spread. I think that the Raiders cover and the Commanders win, and I just think the game stays close, and ultimately Max Crosby is going to be disruptive. He's going to be a big part. I got a feeling he's going to play a big role in this cover. Next game, 4 o'clock. Finally, we made it to 4 o'clock, and I said I wanted this video to be short. Oh, gosh. I ain't going to miss the 8 o'clock game, though. I'll make sure that. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are minus 2.5. I'm going to start to speed this up. We got one more money pick. I might take my time on that, but I'll speed up the rest of these. Always Sunday night and Monday night games. I don't ever elaborate much on those. I just tell you which way I'm leaning because it's a long way till then, and I'm still got a lot of tinkering to go for those 2 games. Always. Anyway, let's get to it. Denver at Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5. I'm going with Denver to cover. Not sure who's gonna win though. I think they're gonna win, but I got them to win in the cover then. Denver to win in the cover. I don't think their defense is gonna have 2 bad performances. Chargers lost Khalil Mack. He's out. He's on IR, I believe. So that I think Denver's offense, they look pretty good. They were able to put up points last week. Chargers defense is looking really good though. That's why I ain't gonna put no money on this. I think the Chargers are legit this year. Even without Khalil Mack, their defense still shut down the Raiders. Still got the ball from Geno, all that. But the Raiders aren't. I don't think top offense. I don't think the Denver's offense is that great either, but they can put up points and they got good coaching. And Bo Nix, he did good last week. Against this defense. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, tight game. I think Denver might come out on top, and then that division will be really close. But Chargers, them starting out 3-0 could also be a thing. They never have, I feel like, in my recollection, they never have good starts to the season. So this could be the first one in a really long time. If they go 3-0, I'm sure we'll see some stat thrown up on the screen. But I'm going to go with Vegas to keep this one, Denver to keep this one close, competitive, and possibly win. I think they can shut down the run. I think their defense is going to step it up. And Denver's offense, as good as Herbert's been playing, like he's been on fire, we could see 2 bad weeks from the Denver defense in a row, and then we could start saying, all right, maybe this defense is a little old, washed up. They don't have it in them anymore to keep playing high skill leveled, down after down after down after down. But I'm gonna go with they'll bounce back this week. The Colts are just they're on some mystical, I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with. And Denver just had a bad week because they're playing a Colts team with some magic fairy dust or some shit. But yeah. So let's go Denver to win and to cover. Next game, we got New Orleans at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are -7.5. I see a lot of people picking the Saints. I don't know why. Rattler's never won a game. I guess he's kept it close the last 2 weeks, but those aren't really against great opponents. What the Cardinals, who we just saw, can let a game slip out of them hands because they were playing the Panthers and they're not that great. And who do the Saints play? Freaking last week they played the Niners, who are banged up. They got everybody out on offense, and they still were able to, even though I'm not saying that they're a bad team, but the Saints couldn't cover against that. And now they're going against the Seattle team that found their run game last week. Darnold looks like he's comfortable with them now. Week 1 they were a little shaky, it seemed. They kind of got lucky covering, maybe possibly winning. They kind of got lucky. They kind of stole one last week. I wouldn't say they got lucky. There was still a lot of football left to play after that blunder that the Steelers did on special teams. But I kind of like the way Darnold was looking and connecting with Cooper Kupp. I think he can keep doing that against this weak Seattle New Orleans defense. The Saints, like I said, they've been able to keep games close, but I think Seattle's going to be able to run on them. Saints, Rattlers 0-8, and the Saints defense, I think, is gonna give Rattler a hard time. He's 0-8, and now he's got to face a defense that hasn't given up more than, I believe, 18 points, and I honestly don't see New Orleans scoring more than 18 points. I think Seattle could put up in the 20-plus range. I don't even think the Saints might get to 14 tops, 17 tops, but I think maybe they'll score like 13. That's what I see. 13, maybe Seattle 26. Like, I think Seattle's really going to get going and start getting things clicking, and then people are going to start talking about them and Sam Darnold, and oh my gosh. It looks like, and what team does Sam Darnold suck on? Like I was saying earlier, just to prove my point, the Jets, and now he's looking great on the Vikings. Last week he looked pretty good on the Seahawks. Like, it looks like he could have another year like he did the year before. And Seahawks got some pretty good players, Smith and Jigba, so he's got the pieces around him. Walker finally running through players again last week, and I think he'll be able to do that against the Saints. I think Seattle will score. They'll get up. Maybe they'll slow down on offense after they're up a few points, but I don't see their defense giving the Saints anything. I don't see a backdoor happening here. Let's go Seattle to win and to cover. Next game, this is a money pick. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Chicago Bears. Bears are -0.5 point. I know the spread has changed, but we got them at -0.5 point. I think Dallas is going to win this game. Simple, plain. I think they got a better team. Bears offense, they can't get it together. I don't have any trust in Caleb Williams. At all. Like, he just looks sloppy. He's got good players around him, and they can't get the ball moving. I think the Bears need to run the ball more if they want more success, honestly. But their defense just looks horrible, and they're banged up, and we got important pieces injured on the Bears, and Dallas is going to take advantage of that. I think their offense is good. They still got Dak Prescott. He's proven multiple times throughout the years that he could put up high numbers, passing yards, scoring, and he's still got CeeDee Lamb, who's killing it so far this year. They're connecting. Jake Ferguson, he's doing awesome if all these guys can stay healthy. And their new piece, Pickett, I just think they're a much better team than the Chicago Bears, and that's why I got my money on this. I think it's a no-brainer, especially since it's a pick'em. It's nice to have a pick'em for once. And then what's his name? The Bears coach Ben Johnson saying that their practice regimes are crappy. They need to do better practice habits or whatnot, and it just seems like he's not satisfied with his own team. He doesn't like the way things work, which I don't blame him, especially the way that offense looks and that defense just. They play competitive until they let up a few points, and then they just haven't looked good since this year. Only in 2 weeks, but their defense hasn't looked good since that blunder last year with the Commanders. I'm going with the Dallas to win this and the cover. Easy, putting my money on that. That's the 4th money pick of the week. I don't got much more to say. Dallas can run the ball. Their defense doesn't look all that bad without Parsons. They don't look that great. They've been giving up. They gave up 450 passing yards to Russell Wilson last week. I don't see that happen in 2 weeks in a row, especially with Williams. That's Williams' one chance to finally have a good game this year, maybe, but it's I don't see it happening. Next game, we got Arizona at San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are -1.5. I got the Niners. I don't even have it marked down yet. So I went back and forth on this one. This might be one that I switch. So I have 2 switches this week, possibly. I might switch my New England pick, and I might switch my San Francisco -1.5 pick. So I'm going San Francisco, or I'm leaning San Francisco -1.5 this game. I just like what I see from their defense. I think Arizona's way too inconsistent, especially Kyler Murray. He still can't get a consistent, solid, good connection with his number 1 receiver after this. If this is year number 2, how much longer is it going to take till they start connecting on a consistent basis? And just that turnover last week, and then not being able to do anything on offense right at the end of the game, how they just kind of I don't like when teams completely take their foot off the gas pedal when they gain a little bit of a lead, and they had some blunders go in their favor. I don't like to see that. That's a red flag for me. So I'm going to go San Francisco, and this is a division matchup. So, they showed that they could bleed a little bit, Arizona, last week, and I think San Francisco, as banged up as they are offensively, they're still a pretty good team. They got good coaches around them. They're going to win this game, and their defense is solid. I think just the same reason I picked San Francisco last week, same reason I'm going to pick them this week, their defense. And I think if they were able to score a couple points with Mac Jones. Also, I believe Arizona's secondary is completely banged up, and Mac Jones already got his warm-up last week, and if he gets a banged-up Arizona secondary this week, I think he's gonna have another good game. And I was team fade Mac Jones last year, and this year I'm so far 2 for 2 riding with Mac Jones, and that's what I'm going with. Arizona's defense, especially if it's that banged up, I can't ride with Arizona. And Mac Jones, I heard whispers Purdy might come back, but the way Mac Jones played last week, they're going to give Purdy more rest. That's how I kind of feel, and I'm pretty positive about that. So, yeah, let's go San Francisco, beat Arizona at home. Arizona, even though they won last week, they still got to feel pretty bad about the way the game ended. I'm sure the coaches are, definitely letting the players have it, and they're not happy even though they won. That's just my vibe I'm getting. And yeah, let's go San Francisco. I feel like they're in better shape to win that. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. Giants are +5.5. Now I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. This is going to be the first game they win. I don't see them starting 0-3, especially against the Giants. This is a perfect team to get their win against. But I think the Giants are going to cover. I think the Giants cover the 5.5 because, like I've said the past couple weeks, I don't think I don't think Kansas City is a great team. They might make the playoffs at like 10-6 this year. I believe I said that in my first video, something along those lines. Like they're going to be a 10-win, maybe 11-win team tops this year. And so far, I'm 3 losses away from being right. And we're only 2 weeks into the season. I think I put a future bet on them. Yeah, I gotta look at that. I'll tell you next video. I don't want to waste any more time. But the Giants, I think, are going to cover this game. If the Chiefs win their first game, I think it's going to be close and dramatic. I don't think they're just going to blow a team out of the water, especially the Giants, who did a lot on offense last week. I think it might have been a fluky offensive performance, like 450 yards from Russell Wilson. I don't think we're going to be seeing that week in and week out. And they don't have a run game, the Giants. But neither does the Chiefs, really. The Chiefs don't really have a good offense. And I think the Giants' defense could keep up with their offense. I think they might be able to contain Mahomes. Mahomes hasn't been having a lot of magic circuits plays. Looks like that era might be a little over. It might be few and far in between. We see stuff like that from him now. Yeah, the Chiefs, they need younger players on offense that aren't hurt, like Rashee Rice and stuff. They're missing a lot, and I think Giants are going to be able to at least keep it close. I don't think they're going to win. And Chiefs being it's going to be their first win. I think, they're not going to just roll over a team. I don't care who they're playing. It could have been the fucking Saints. I think they would struggle a little bit, because they're still thought, we have to fucking win this game. And the nerves got to be. Pat Mahomes never been 0-2 before. Let's see how he plays with a start like that. Let's see. I'm curious. I think it'll be a close game. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are -5.5. Is this Monday night? We are on Monday night, finally. Oh my gosh. We might keep it under an hour, though. I got 3 minutes to pull this off. And then I did better than last week. But I'm watching a whole bunch. I'm putting a lot of hours into this. So I got a lot more to say than I did last year. Last year I didn't put this much time into it. And so far we're seeing improvement. Let's hope we keep going that way. Detroit at Baltimore Ravens. Ravens -5.5. Now Monday's a far way away. But I'm going with Baltimore to win and cover this game. I just think they're for real this year. They're going to be probably the number 1 team in the AFC. I think they always have a tough week 1 loss, don't they? But it looks like AFC won't be too much different when it comes to the top dogs. I think they'll be one of them. Detroit looked good. Looks like their offense is still going to be dominant. I wasn't too worried about that. Just wondered how long it was going to take. It didn't take too long. But I think Baltimore, Derrick Henry, first of all, he's got to be mad he fumbled the ball and they lost. Then he's got to be mad they fumbled the ball and didn't freaking run at all against the Browns. Even though they clobbered the Browns, Derrick Henry had nothing to do with it. They probably would have beat the Browns by more if it wasn't for Derrick Henry, honestly, last week. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I think Derrick Henry will have a good game this game against the Lions defense. I think it might be a high-score matchup, or it might be a matchup where the offenses hold the ball for a long time, and it just comes down to the wire. But I'm going with Baltimore. I feel more comfortable with them at this point. Detroit put a beating on the Chicago Bears, who looks like the same old Bears, the Bears. So I can't read too much into that. And then they didn't really have the best performance against Green Bay. Now, Baltimore doesn't have a defense like Green Bay, I don't think. But they got a better offense. They put up more points anyway. So, I don't know. I'm going with Baltimore to win and cover. It's a long way from Monday. I could switch that. I don't think I'm switching it. If I switch any picks, it might be the Niners, which I doubt I'm switching at this point the more I talk about it. So the only pick I might switch is my New England pick. Still really don't know how I feel about that game. That's the only game I'm still questionable about. So if you have anything that could help me out with that pick, please comment. Let me know. But that's everything for this week. Don't forget to click like, subscribe. Please comment below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. 5 and 7 on the money picks so far this year. Let's see if we can add 4 more wins this week. We got 4 money picks this week. We got Atlanta minus 4.5. We got Tampa Bay minus 6.5. Indianapolis minus 3.5. And Dallas plus 0.5. So there you go, guys. Another hour-long video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you stuck around this long, you're a true Schmidt head. We'll work harder next week on making this video around 30-35 minutes. Peace.